Hi, Dr. Paul Haider here. Now, how do we heal our heart? I think it's really important that we listen to our heart. As far as our chakras go and the seven chakras in our inside our body, I think it's really important because this blast of energy given off by the heart make our energetic field work correctly. There's no doubt about that. And the mind gives off some energy also, but not as much as the heart. And we need to connect with that heart and understand that heart and feel from our heart and work accordingly in life from our heart. And when we start connecting with our heart deeply and moving from here to here, everything changes. There's no doubt about that. And we need to check in with our heart, you know, and ask our heart, what does it need? What does our heart need right now? And sometimes the heart is going to say something out of the blue, which is totally different than what you expected. As you may be scheduled to go out and do something, with friends, and all of a sudden the heart will say, no, I want to stay home and just do nothing or read a book and cozy up with a nice cup of tea and do nothing. And that's exactly what you need to do. A lot of times we get so busy, we're running here, running there, and it has nothing to do with really feeling peace deep down inside and that love for ourselves, which is so important. My wife, she loves to go here and there and this and there, and, running 10 million places at a time, and that's great for her. I will do it for a couple days, and I said, no, I'm not going now. I need my me time. And that's really important because otherwise, if we get all used up inside and we don't have our downtime, we lose that connection with our heart and we start feeling really sad deep down inside. And especially if we had some kind of emotional turmoil happen, maybe lost a loved one or broke up with somebody or something like that, we really need to listen to our heart and see exactly what it needs. And all the great, teachers that came, Jesus and Divine Mother Amma, Buddha, and everybody else, all talked about the heart. Every single one of them. It's all in all the spiritual text also. So this is something which is not new at all. It's about allowing ourselves to connect with our heart in a deep way. And you know, we can really understand what our heart is all about is when we do a little experiment. We think about something which is terrible, a car accident or something happening or something like that, and just feel how your heart all of a sudden gets heavy. And then go from that to something that's exuberant and full of life and love, and maybe, somebody's wedding or, Christmas time, or it could be, going out to dinner with friends or a million different things, and feel how light your heart feels. And studies have shown actually the energetic field of a person actually enlightens and becomes more energetic and moving more at the same time. This torsion factor, which is going on through our body, it's coming up and around and up and around, and so it's really good to connect to those feelings deep down inside and allow ourselves to ask on a regular basis what's going on with me, what's going on with my heart. And a lot of times we do things which we really don't want to do, and we don't listen to our heart. Maybe something happened and you have to go out to do something, and you can feeling really heavy in your heart, and your heart is really telling you this is not for you. This is not good. This is not a great thing to be doing, and it's not a great thing that it's going to help you feel good deep down inside. And allowing yourself to move to a higher point of understanding of yourself. And so the heart is trying to give us messages all the time. It's going, this is not good. We got to move away from this, back away. And so it's allowing us to connect with that. And this is written about in all the spiritual texts. Now, I think that a lot of people in this day and age have forgotten that the heart has great wisdom. There's no doubt about that. If we allow ourselves to get connected to it. And boy, I've seen a lot of people who have that great challenge of moving 18 inches from here to here. And because thinking becomes a monster, it really does. It takes over everything. Thinking is good, but it's also our worst enemy most of the time. It's feeling. Feelings make up everything. But we get disconnected from our feelings. We really do. We don't allow ourselves to find what we really want deep down inside. And we long for that. And that may be just the opposite of what the crowd is doing, you know? I knew a man who walked from Alaska all the way down to the tip of Mexico. And this man did it because he wanted to and he felt that in his heart. And the more power to him because it was really important to him. And everybody else was going, what are you doing that for? This is not a great idea. How are you going to stay safe? But he had the most amazing photographs when he got back, and they were going, wow, look at that. And it really, for the rest of his life, it changed his life because he made a change to doing something outside the box of what he was supposed to be doing, supposed to be doing. And I think a lot of people would feel a lot better if they lived outside the box. I think I just saw a couple who came from Europe. They bought an old RV, fixed it up a little bit, and went through Canada and all the way down and ended up in Mexico and had a great time. And they ended up, in the end, they found that they were kind of always wondering, where happiness was. But they found really that happiness was inside of them. And no matter where they went, they could have that happiness just by connecting to their joy in their heart. And I thought that was very sweet, very loving, very kind. And I think that's what we all need. We need to connect to ourselves. We all get disconnected. Travel is wonderful. I love it. I love traveling. At the same time, I like being home also. And sometimes just doing nothing, just peace is super important. Uh, Sometimes just being. You know, we're not human beings. We're human. We are human beings, not human doing. Excuse me. And we're not human doings. We're human beings. And a lot of times people get mixed up. They think we got to do things all the time. But just to read a book and just be watch a stream move, downhill, or just sit and watch the clouds and make for different formation. I remember as a kid watching clouds move by and trying to guess what forms they were. And that has stayed with me all the rest of my life. Just sitting there and go, oh, there's a puppy dog, and oh, I see Donald Duck, and on and on. Laying in the grass and have my little dog with me and look in my face, and what more could you ask? There is nothing else. But we always have this doing thing in our head, and we think we have to do things constantly. But the heart knows everything, and all we have to do is connect with it. All we have to do is close our eyes for a minute and ask our heart, heart, what do I need today? And the heart will answer. I need to be in silence more than anything else today. I need to get out with friends more than anything else today. Or I need to take the time to just read a good book today. I need to go out in nature and sit under a big tree and just soak up nature's wonderful energy today. And then on and on and on, because the heart will know exactly what that person needs. Or I remember I need to call a friend I haven't called in years, and or I need to call my mother because I haven't talked to her in a couple weeks, or whatever. There would be a million different things, and the heart knows exactly what it needs to, you know, talk about. But the head, it just raises itself to a place of self-doubt. It'll say something and then contradict itself all the time, and so it creates lots of anxiety and stress. Whereas the heart is just the opposite. And they also have done studies showing that when we get anxiety going, our heart gets out of rhythm, and it stays out of rhythm until we connect with it and do some deep breathing and allow ourselves to know that we can do what we need to do from the heart. And from there, everything changes. And I think that's really important because we live in a society of living from our head, and we have forgotten how to live from our heart. And we change that one thing. We change how we live in this life by living from our heart. Everything is totally different. Then we can mend our heart by just listening to it. What do I need today? I need to go out and have a frozen dessert of some kind. What do I need today? I need to go out and visit some friends that are, 20 miles away. And if we live from our heart, everything changes. Now, I need to go out and join Habitat for Humanity and make a difference in people's lives if we live from our heart. And then at the end of our life, I've known that a lot of people who live from their heart, and they are very happy on their way out, on their way to crossing the veil. They really feel complete. And those who live in their head really don't feel complete at all. There's this emptiness that's left inside their heart. And we shouldn't allow other people to influence what we need to do. If we listen to our heart and it says, I need quiet time today, then other people are saying, we got to get up, we got to go to dinner, we got to do this, and I got to do that. And no, I'm sorry, I got to go inside today. And so not allowing the crowd to influence what we need on a regular basis. And we can really mend our heart that way. We can feel, we can also forgive ourselves. And that's one big thing. A lot of people don't forgive themselves. Now, I had a man sitting in here in my office, and he had some things from long ago that he was sad that it had happened, and he had some exchanges with people. And I said, when are you going to forgive yourself? And he said, I can't. And so this cycle of never-ending turmoil keeps happening in his life because we need to forgive, to forget, and move on in order to alleviate that energy in our heart. And so we feel complete and we let go of the guilt and shame. And when we let go of that guilt and shame, everything changes. And we feel joyful inside because we can feel the guilt and shame kind of tints everything else. And so if we can let go of that guilt and shame, we can be our own person. We can walk our own talk. We can do what we want to do because we don't have this guilt and shame which is impinging upon us and pulling down our heart all the time and allowing us never to feel joy because the guilt and shame has a big tug on our heart and makes us feel heavy. And when we allow ourselves to move to a higher point of understanding and forgiveness, for ourselves, I forgive myself. I forgive myself. And I think that's a great thing to do every single day. I forgive myself. I forgive myself. And also fear. A lot of people live, especially now, in a lot of fear, and we forgive ourselves for having fear, and we let go of the fear. I am I let go of all fear in my life. I let go of all fear in my life. I let go of all fear in my life. And I forgive myself for being fearful. I forgive myself for being fearful. And we allow ourselves to move to the next plane. Because God lives in our heart. And we have to connect with that joyful being inside. And when we do that, everything changes. So allow yourself to heal the heart by listening to the heart. Let go of the guilt and shame. Don't follow the crowd. Do what you need to do every single day. Allow yourself to let go of the fear so that you can feel exactly what is your path and walk it accordingly. And everything will be great, I promise. If you want to get a hold of me, my contact information is down below. My email and my Skype and also my phone number. I go to live in the Eastern Standard Time, so and I go to bed by 8 p.m. So be sure to get a hold of me early in the day. That's the best way to do it. And if you want to email me, that's really good. And all my consultations are free. Absolutely doesn't cost a single thing, so I can help you in whatever way I can. Please get a hold of me. And also, if you care to subscribe, that is greatly appreciated. And if you care to make a donation, that is really wonderful. You know, my wife and I live on Social Security, so that's really great. And I thank you in advance for that. So anyway, I hope you have a great day, and remember, I love you.